Gemini, hi, how you doing? Hope you're all right. I'm going to pull some cards for you. We are going to have a quick look at past energies, current energies, where these energies might be taking you, bearing in mind everyone has free will, you and other people. It's a general reading. I'm not pulling on any particular area of life. Whatever comes up, comes up. To a certain extent, it is for you to take the energies I'm talking about and apply them to whatever area of your life you see fit. So I might be talking about a romantic relationship and you might see it more in terms of a job or a family friend or something like that. Family member or friend, I should say. That sort of thing. You'll see when we get going what my readings are like. If you're new here, that is. Nice to have you here. It's a collective reading. I'm pulling on collective energy. It's a trip. It does mean that not necessarily every single message is going to resonate for you. This whole thing may not necessarily represent your full story, okay? So it is a question of using your intuition and your discernment to take the messages that are right for you. You know, I'm not here to make hard and fast predictions or to give you hard and fast advice about your life. That would be kind of ludicrous. It's a collective reading, okay? What purpose this does serve, I feel, is to kind of prompt certain questions. Certain questions will come up through the cards and I will say them. But also it prompts certain questions in you. So, you know, as you're watching, just pay attention to your own reaction to what I'm saying, really, and that's really how I aim for these readings to help you, okay? So that was an awful lot of preamble. Let's get you some cards, my loves. It was the Six of Wands reverse, but it didn't. When they fall out too early like that, I've come back. Past energy, please, for Gemini. Past energy for Gemini, please. Thank you very much. That's more like it. Justice. Ooh, we've got a reverse Tower for you in your past there. That kind of does hit hard, actually. Intense energy. Ooh, okay. And a reverse Eight of Swords. I see you in your past coming out of this energy. Let me show you all the cards. So I feel like this Tower energy in your past here came along to kind of get you out of this reversed Eight of Swords energy. So Eight of Swords energy is very difficult to be in. It's one of my least favourite cards, along with the Ten of Wands, which is odd because they're both minor arcana, and you would think that if I was going to have strong feelings towards cards, I'd go for major arcana. But hey, I guess that's, yeah, just a reflection of kind of, it sort of represents, to a certain extent, everyday bullshit, but it obviously goes deeper with this Tower and the Justice card out. Anyway, look, what I'm trying to say, my loves, is you'll have to excuse me. I am a bit migrainous. I can still read the cards. I can still do good readings. It's just I don't always articulate things as clearly as I would otherwise. But, you know, I'm totally good to do the reading. I wouldn't be doing it otherwise. It just means that the brain fog sometimes affects my communication. So I'm really sorry about that. Feeling of stuckness, getting in your own way, feeling like you can't move, feeling like if you move, it's going to be the wrong move. You're going to hurt yourself. It's going to hurt. You're going to cause yourself problems. You're going to cause yourself pain. It almost feels like, yeah, this is a feeling almost of being in a lose-lose situation. Whatever I do, it's going to be the wrong thing. Some energy has come in rapidly and swiftly to prompt within you the recognition that your thoughts do not reflect reality, or in the past did not reflect reality. Your Eight of Swords thoughts here were sort of putting you in a bit of a prison, and something come along here with this Tower energy to kind of shake you up. It's a reverse Tower, so to a certain extent, it's almost like you put yourself in this energy with it being in reverse. Actually, it's almost like it's been a conscious choice in the past to sit down and have a bit of a word with yourself. But you know, the Tower is always for your long-term good. It feels uncomfortable at the time. It feels less uncomfortable if you've sort of chosen it yourself, if it's in reverse, and I think that's what a lot of you have done. But I will say for some of you, this energy is coming through as an upright Tower, because it does feel very intense, and that is sort of when an external event happens to kind of shake up your thinking. Yeah. And then we've got the Justice card. The Justice card is about kind of fairness and balance, and I think it's here to talk about how fair you've been being towards yourself. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to get some more cards for current energy. So just to let you know, what I do in these readings is I try to get 3 cards for each row. Sometimes more comes out because I work with jumpers. I'll do 3 cards for each row for the kind of surface energy, and then I will use different decks to get underneath that surface energy and get a bit more depth for you, a bit more clarification, try to think of some useful questions, depending on what energy comes up. So I could get to card 9 here, and you could feel you've heard enough that you don't want to go any deeper, and you can leave me at that point, and that's all good. Or if you want to hang around for kind of an hour, you can get a more in-depth reading, because my readings do tend to go on that long. It's just the way I prefer to read, I've realised. It's because I'm really nosy. Current energy for Gemini, please. Current energy for Gemini. A reverse 10 of Pentacles. A reverse 9 of Wands. And a reverse Queen of Wands. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like you've not quite exited this 8 of Swords energy yet. Let me just show you the cards. I do like to show you the cards. I'll show you them as they came out, so you're getting the reversals. I feel like I'm looking at a Gemini who kind of has core wounds, or what you might call limiting beliefs around how capable they are. I'm not good enough. That's what's coming through. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I don't think that's true, just to be absolutely clear. But I feel it's the way you are sort of talking to yourself, if that makes sense. Because there's the idea a bit here with the 10 of Pentacles in reverse of building a future for yourself, creating some sort of legacy, you know, a solid future, like in the 3D. You know, this is sort of, to a certain extent with Pentacles, it is about material things, you know, your house, your environment, your finances, your career. I just feel like you're still a little bit in an energy of an 8 of Swords energy, and when you apply that to this, it's coming through to me as I'm not capable, I'm not good enough. And especially with the 9 of Wands reverse, because the 9 of Wands does speak to sort of childhood wounding. Yes, a lot of these thoughts are due to your childhood programming. And of course the Queen of Wands in her upright energies is a fantastic manifester, really just makes shit happen. She's come through in reverse. I'm feeling a bit of a lack of confidence here in your energy, but we'll get under it, okay? And we will ask the right questions to kind of see how you can deal with it. Yeah. So let's look to your future, Gemini. Can we have some cards for Gemini's future, please? A reverse Queen of Cups. Okay. Can we have some more for Gemini, please? Not that many, thank you. Tell me more about Gemini's future, please. A reverse Ace of Swords. This is one of those readings where all the energies are blending into one. I'll be honest. I think I'm looking at a very tight time frame here, and they're all sort of merging into one. I might end up pulling another row for you that sort of takes us a bit further into the future. I just feel like your energy is so tightly bound at the moment and so focused on the current moment, which isn't exactly a bad thing. Well, no, you aren't focused on the current moment. That's not the right way to put it, actually. There's a lot of thought, you know, with the Eight of Swords, there's a lot of thoughts about the past. There's a lot of worries about the future. But how do I say it? It's like everything's sort of constricting and meeting here. It's like these energies, they're all constricting and kind of meeting here. And just in terms of the focal point for the reading, it's like everything's constricting. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm sorry if that doesn't make sense. I hope it does. Tell me more for Gemini in the future, please. Okay, 2 cards, fine. This is what I mean. A 4 of Cups and oh my goodness. Oh, Geminis. Oh, Geminis. This is just one of those moments. I wish I was one of those readers that kind of bullshit people and sugarcoated shit, really, isn't it? It's, you know, your future energy's looking difficult. I can't say anything else. I can't say anything other than what I see. I'm sorry. Let me show you your cards. But I will say this feels like very near future and kind of almost present energy, to be honest. And I believe the way it's coming through like this is because the Gemini I'm looking at, sadly, reverse King of Wands on the bottom of the deck. The Gemini I'm looking at just doesn't see much hope for the future. So obviously, because when I'm looking at future energies, how do I put, I am picking up on your own feelings about your future as well, and I think that's what's coming through here. I can see there's a desire for clarity over something in your future. You want some sort of clarity, so when we dig, we can look underneath that and find out sort of what you can do to gain that clarity. We've got 3 Cups cards here in your future. The Queen and the 5 are reversed, and then the 4, which is sort of about disappointment and apathy, is upright. It feels like there's some sort of difficulty for you to invest your emotions in any sort of future at the moment. It feels really hard for you, Gemini. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to see this. I hope we can look at some of this together and kind of give you some hope. All right. You know, this is life. This deck is life. Life contains happy moments, sad moments, difficult moments, hard moments, you know, and at the moment what's coming through is a hard time for you. And I'm not here to shy away from that. What use would that do you? What use would that do me? We've got to have a proper look at this and not bullshit it and not sugarcoat it. And I will say that is one thing that is coming through to you, through to me, that you are doing is actually, I do believe you are feeling your feelings, especially after this 8 of Swords in reverse, because I do think sometimes with the 8 of Swords there is a tendency to sort of blind yourself to your own feelings, but it's in reverse, it's in the past. I think I'm looking at a Gemini who's not afraid to face their own darkness. So that's the thing, isn't it? Right, I'm just going to start with this Tower card in reverse for this past energy. Do you know, I always used to kind of look at these 2 cards combined to give the overall energy of the read, but I kind of feel like I've done enough of that as a certain sense of actually, I'm sorry, I've just got to pick these cards up that I threw all over the floor. There is a... Oh, I'm just throwing them again. Goodness me. I feel like you've been persevering for a really long time. And no, actually, I am glad I chose to look at these cards. I don't know. Because this is important, actually. What's coming through right now is really important. The Nine of Wands turns up in a reading very often when you've been persevering for a long time and you're just about to have a breakthrough. So I do think I'm looking at a Gemini, you know, because you've got this Tower energy supporting this Nine of Wands. I feel like you're a Gemini who's, and I don't know if you believe this, because it feels hard and heavy, but you're about to make a breakthrough after a whole lot of perseverance. And I think, because both these cards to me indicate a kind of lack of confidence in yourself, but also a kind of lack of confidence actually in your surroundings or in the world or in the universe or something. But I'm telling you, you are about to make a breakthrough. You are, and you can't see it in your future. You can't see it, and that is to a certain extent the Eight of Swords creeping back in with that blindfold. The Eight of Swords is often when you just can't see. You can't see a positive future for yourself. But you're about to make a breakthrough. I do feel that, excuse me. Right, let's go underneath this tower. What happened here for Gemini in the past? Tell me more about this tower. Tell me more about this tower. That's too many cards. Tell me more about this tower for Gemini. The High Priestess. Good. Good. Despite this Eight of Swords energy, you got in contact with your own self and followed your own instincts. And you know, I'm really heartened to see this, and I'm getting proper tingles in the back of my head with this energy. I think the High Priestess often is about facing your own shadow, because the High Priestess can be very secretive, can really hide parts of herself that she doesn't want to see. Sex is irrelevant. I'm just going off the sex of the person on the card. You may be a man or a woman. It doesn't matter. Yeah, this is really getting in contact with who you are. What else about this tower? The Two of Cups and the Six of Swords. Okay. What could have triggered this tower moment for a lot of you is kind of the end of some sort of relationship, be that friendship or romantic. So the Two of Cups here is when two people are very reciprocal with one another. You know, there's a... It's nice. It's a nice energy. It seems it got a bit stormy though, and someone chose to walk away from it. I suspect that's you, Gemini. So the Six of Swords is someone walking away from a stormy situation and finding calmer waters. There was a from this Two of Cups to this tower. It sounds to me, it feels to me like there was a very radical shift in energy. There's been a moving away from this Two of Cups, whether that's an actual ending or whether it's just a putting a distance. It feels like an ending for a lot of you actually, and I think you ended it because you got in contact with your own intuition. I feel I'm going to get into this Justice card. I think you realised you weren't being treated fairly in this Two of Cups. I mean, Two of Cups in its sort of positive aspects is reciprocal, but in its more shadow aspects, it becomes unbalanced and non-reciprocal. And with it being attached to a Six of Swords and under a tower, I am feeling that you noticed a sort of imbalance in this relationship, whatever that relationship is to you, and you've chosen to distance yourself from the storminess of it in some way, but it feels like it radically shifted out of that Two of Cups energy. Tell me more about the Justice card, please. Eight of Wands, that is fast energy, fast communication. Oh, something came in very fast for you to realise that this situation wasn't fair or right, or it's going to be different for all of you, but this is kind of, look, Justice, clarified by Justice. You could be dealing with a Libra. Tell me more about this Justice card. That's too many. Tell me more about this Justice card for Gemini, please. Okay, I'll take both of those. A reverse King of Cups. A Seven of Pentacles. Someone stopped giving to this situation in the way that they used to. It became kind of stagnant and stuck. Possibly this was a situation where you came out of a honeymoon period and you just couldn't grow the relationship any further. Although I do see that you started holding back from this situation, I am seeing this King of Cups as somebody else's energy. It's like they just switched up on you quite suddenly. Quite a radical shift in their energy towards you, like from the upright King of Cups to which is so loving and giving, and it just like they switched up on you really quickly here, and I don't know, and that created that imbalance, and you recognize that imbalance well, like your intuition, the high priestess within you did a very good job of responding to that energy appropriately, so well done to you, Gemini. Tell me more about this Eight of Swords, please. Tell me more about this Eight of Swords for Gemini. Ooh, a Two of Wands. A little bit of indecision here. Tell me more about this Eight of Wands. I'm so sorry. Tell me more about this Eight of Swords for Gemini, please. Two of Wands, a Five of Pentacles. Yeah. And a Ten of Wands. What did I say were my two least favourite cards? And you got them both. It's in reverse, so anyway, and it's in the past anyway, so you're absolutely moving out of that energy, but it is that feeling of overwhelm. Things got pretty heavy here for you, Gemini. I think it was you that made the decision. This is a card of decision. I feel like this decision has been made. To, Five of Pentacles it's in reverse, but look, I always see this as her offering a cup of love, even though it's a Pentacle card on this particular deck. And it's like her love just isn't enough or something. There's some, tied up with the imagery of this card, there's something about this person's love being rejected or something like that. So you stopped giving it. Made a decision to stop giving it because it just felt so burdensome, and also it was creating in you this Eight of Swords energy of not being able to do anything right, feeling that you couldn't do anything right, feeling that you weren't good enough. And in this past energy, I am looking at a Gemini who respected themselves enough to walk away from that bullshit with the Six of Swords. So yeah, but it was difficult. And it's carrying through. Why wouldn't it carry through? Because once this this situation felt so beautiful at one point. Like, you wouldn't be human if you got over it like that. If you were going from this to a Sun or a Ten of Cups, or, you know, I'd be a bit worried about you actually, Gemini. So I'm sorry it's difficult, but you're human, having totally human responses to a difficult situation where somebody's just kind of got, it's like the relationship got to a certain level. You know, I'm always seeing this with the collective at the moment. These relationships keep hitting this Seven of Pentacles. Honeymoon's over, shit gets real. How can we work on this? How can we tweak this? How can we make this grow? And somebody just is like, no, I've had enough. It's like, what? Why? It got too hard for you? You're probably asking yourself that. That's why there's this lack of clarity in your future. I mean, I can ask. I can try and get under this reverse King of Cups and see what happened if you like. Let's see. What's underneath this reverse King of Cups? I see that as somebody else's energy. Tell me more about this reverse King of Cups, please, for Gemini. God, I'm finding these Light Seers cards harder and harder to work with, like, physically. They're so thick. Beautiful cards, though. A reverse Strength, Knight of Pentacles, King of Swords. I'm just feeling this energy here as, because of the King of Swords, as someone who's not sort of in contact with their kind of higher self or their soul, or their, you know, like their true self, because that's what the King of Swords in this deck is to me. It represents a person's higher self. And just next to Strength in reverse like this, which is about self-compassion. I'm just feeling someone who isn't in contact with their own self, pretty much. And someone who finds it to be difficult to be consistent, because the Knight of Pentacles is all about consistency. And with it coming out next to reverse Strength, it's like, so they sort of lack compassion towards themselves, which means they are unable to give consistently towards themselves, and then therefore they're also unable to give consistently towards you and towards the connection. I think that's the best way of me summing those cards up. I'm just going to kind of put those up right there. Current energy then. Let's see what we can get for you in your current energy. Tell me more about this Ten of Pentacles reverse. Tell me more about this Ten of Pentacles reverse, please, for Gemini. So, Four of Wands. Was that a Lovers? Oh my God. Jesus Christ. The Four of Wands is the energy of a stable home space anyway, so it's very interesting we've had that come out underneath the Ten of Wands in reverse and with the Lovers. A lot of you must have lived or are still living with this person. You must be. Tell me more about this Ten of Pentacles. Thank you. Ooh, it's the Ten of Wands again. I'm getting really hot. Just excuse me, I'm gonna have to take this off. Yeah. So I feel like you've sort of withdrawn from this situation on a sort of energetic and emotional level with what I've seen here, but what's coming through in this current energy is you're still living with this person from a lot of you, and it feels really hard with this Ten of Wands. Let me just show you all these cards. And there you have it, all underneath the reverse Ten of Pentacles. This is why the Ten of Pentacles has come out reversed. There's this difficulty building a comfortable home space in your energy. There's a difficulty in working towards that, and it's because this connection has stopped growing. This connection has stopped growing, and it's out of your control because, you know, you can't control what this reverse Ten of Cups person is doing. You can't heal them. You can't, it's not your job. You can't do the work of two people, right? Or of two geese. You know, the Lovers is, in this deck, it's two people working towards the same goal, only the way it's coming through in your reading with the Ten of Wands. One of these geese has just decided to... Do you know what? It's like they're still moving in that direction, but do you know how they're moving in that direction? It's almost like they have got a rope. Like, so this is you, Gemini, right? It's almost like this goose here has got a rope and tied it to you, and you're still flying, and they're just being dragged along by your flight. That's how it's coming through to me. And you cannot build an upright Ten of Pentacles in that situation. The other person needs to be flying for themselves, you know? So this is why you've got it like this. And of course that feels heavy and burdensome for you. We've got the Ten of Wands out twice. It's in reverse. I see you recognizing this energy, and I think this emotional detachment that I see in your energy is sort of the first step towards building a new life for yourself. And I think you're absolutely capable of doing this, even though your energy is telling me, you know, I'm not capable, I'm not confident, I'm worn down. This Nine of Wands is such a worn down energy. But like I said, it's also the energy of already having done loads, and a few final hurdles need to be overcome before you reach kind of the goal, what you want to reach. Okay, a reverse Nine of Wands. Tell me more about this Nine of Wands for Gemini, please. Thank you. I've got 3 cards here. The Empress. I told you could do it. Yes, a reverse Knight of Cups. This is this emotional disinvestment that I was speaking about, if that's the right way of putting it. The Chariot. I told you you could do it. You see, a lot of people read the Chariot as about action. But it often comes through, and this is how it's coming through to me now, as before. The before. It's the bit before you take the action. And a reverse Seven of Swords. So this is quite an interesting Seven of Swords card, because often in the Seven of Swords you will see a person's body moving in one direction, and then they're turning, their head is in another direction to face these 2 swords that have been left behind. I'm actually looking at the Seven of Swords where I mean, he does look a bit shady, so there is that element of deceit or whatever, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But the way he's moving forward, he's actually he to me he's not got that 1 foot or one eye or whatever in the past that you often see with the Seven of Swords. So I think that's quite pertinent to your situation. I do see a lot of forward movement here, or about to be forward movement, with this Chariot. The Seven of Swords, yes, there is an element of deceit in this card. It came out reverse. I suspect this is because you have been deceiving yourself about this situation for so long. I honestly think the main thing you're deceiving yourself about here is your own capabilities. This is what's holding this Chariot back, is your lack of confidence in your own capabilities. But, you know, I can see that you've emotionally withdrawn, but, like, I feel that what you're wanting to do is not only emotionally withdraw, but kind of withdraw in a practical sense as well. And I think this is where this reverse King and Queen of Wands energies is coming in and is affecting your confidence. And you have certain beliefs about your own capability, like I've said. The Empress is absolutely beautiful energy to be in, to drive this Chariot forward. Actually, now traditionally the Emperor drives the Chariot forward, but now why did I say that? That's very interesting, isn't it? Because nothing I say in these readings is an accident. You don't think you can drive this Chariot forward, do you, my loves? You think you need an Emperor to drive it forward for you. I'm just going to tell you that that's bullshit. Alright? You don't need an Emperor to drive your Chariot. I will say, when it comes to the Emperor and the Empress, if anybody needs anybody, it's the Emperor that needs his Empress. The Empress doesn't need anyone. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Look how much armour that Emperor's wearing. I feel like the person you're dealing with is very armoured. Fascinating. Do you know what? You've already been driving this Chariot. You've driven this Chariot before. I don't know how to say it. With this Nine of Wands, I don't think it's new to you to have to drive this Chariot because your Emperor's being shit. I don't think it's new to you to have to do that. And I know it's fucking exhausting. And I know if everything was right and fair, then you'd probably be taking it in turns to drive the Chariot, or at least you'd agree on where the Chariot's supposed to be going or whatever. Have I taken this metaphor too far? Have I? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, because I know it is a difficult situation for you, but, like, you know, I'm sure you're a Gemini that is not devoid of laughing. In fact, I don't think you are. And I think that's probably one of the things that will get you through, actually, is knowing that actually you can still keep things quite light, even when you're feeling a great sense of overwhelm and heaviness and exhaustion. Yeah. I feel like he just needs to get out of your way, to be honest, and let you bloody drive. Take it all as you will. It all comes out for a reason. I don't even know half the time. Hope it makes sense. Let me know in the comments. All your comments make me a better reader. Let me know. Yes, you could be having literal arguments about who does the driving. I'm not going to lie, that could be something that's happening. Or even where you're going. I can actually just see a couple literally in a car now arguing about, like, navigation and directions, and you took the wrong turn, and obviously this is metaphorical for a lot of you, but I see that as a literal conversation for some of you. Let's get underneath this Queen of Wands. Let's ask, how can Gemini, turn this Queen of Wands the right way up, because I think we've already got a lot of information about this Queen of Wands that I've already spoke about. So it's time to think of a useful question. How can Gemini turn this Queen of Wands energy the right way up, please? A Two of Cups, a Two of Pentacles. Two. All underneath the Two of Wands. I'm not sure we've got enough twos out. Thank you. Five of Cups. Yes, we've already got the Five of Cups and the Devil. Yeah, okay. So we're going to get metaphorical again. You know how I said about this lover, this goose being tied to this goose? You're this goose. You're dragging this other goose who can't be bothered to fly. This is coming through again in the Devil card. Because we've got two people who are bound to one another. You obviously feel bound to some sort of situation or some sort of person here. And it used to be a Two of Cups. It used to be a Two of Cups. We've had the Two of Cups out twice. You know, it used to be reciprocal. But you're being asked really to go inwards and ascertain how fair this situation is. Because that's what it's keeping your confidence down. This person's got a bloody nerve, because basically they wouldn't be in the sky if it wasn't for you. They'd have fallen out the bloody sky if it wasn't for you. And yet somehow they are triggering in you this feeling of, I'm not good enough. I won't be able to cope on my own. They're the ones who aren't going to be able to cope on their own. You cut that cord, they ain't going to be able to fly for themselves. And somehow they're doing this reversal on you. They're doing a reversal on you. I'm sorry about my metaphors, but they keep telling you you can't drive this chariot. You've already been driving it. Good God, Gemini. I'm really sorry. Because this person I feel like they've eaten away at your confidence. But, and that has been going on for some time. I will say that. But at the same time, in your recent past, there's been a radical shift in energy that's woken you up to this, I think. Some sort of news, some sort of incoming shocking news, revelation. It could be anything. You know, like you've discovered, you know, this is in the past, so I'm not predicting anything shocking. This will already have happened to you, but you know, you might have discovered that they're having an affair, or discovered some sort of secret addiction, or like a shitload of debt, or something like that. Some sort of shocking news. But it's quite, in a way, helpful, because I tell you, this gradual wearing down of your confidence has been so subtle, it's been hard for you to recognise. But this Eight of Wands in this Tower, it's given you something concrete. To be able to recognise the unfairness in the relationship. Yeah, but it's knocked you for six, and like now there's this, what's the future for me? I can't see a future for myself. So let's look at that future energy, because did I answer the question with the Queen of Wands? It was really about cutting those ties. I mean, I saw it in the Lovers anyway, before the Devil came out, but it's just really hitting it home in the Devil that somehow these ties, I mean, I can see you've emotionally withdrawn, but I suppose suppose it's quite easy to go back into the emotion of the situation as well. With the Two of Cups being here, it does seem quite easy to go back into the emotion of that situation. So I guess that's something to watch out for, because there's kind of a regret here and a sadness, and that sadness can pull you back in. Yeah. Okay, let's look at this reverse Queen of Cups. Let's look at this reverse Queen of Cups for Gemini. Tell me more about this reverse Queen of Cups for Gemini in the future. I'm just wondering if this is more their energy actually, or a Three of Cups, a Three of Swords, and a reversed Eight of Wands. And the Emperor in reverse. This Emperor ain't all he's cracked up to be, you know. Your Emperor. This Emperor that's driving this chariot is not all he's cracked up to be. He knows that deep down, though. He does. That's why he's full of shit. That's why he's got you convinced you can't fly without him. Just so you can see your cards underneath this Queen of Cups. Yeah, sure. No wonder. No wonder you're feeling like a reverse Queen of Cups here, which is just kind of coming through to me as sadness and depression. Not in a clinical sense. I'm not here to bloody diagnose anything medical, but then what is depression anyway? That's a whole other story. There's a feeling of betrayal here. I mean, it's linked to this Eight of Wands. You know, I've already said it. I've already said they might have been having an affair. This isn't new information. I'm not predicting any sort of revelation about an affair in your future, but I am just linking this feeling in your future, this Queen of Cups reverse energy, back to this revelation up here, which I had already said could be an affair, or it's some sort of betrayal. You know, Three of Cups often comes out when there's a third party situation, which I don't generally feel it as that, but when it's next to a Three of Swords, yeah, sure. It could be that more information is going to come out about this with yet another Eight of Wands. It could be that more information is about to come out about this. So, but you already know about this situation. This, I can't state this clearly enough, this Eight of Wands links back to this other Eight of Wands, this revelation that's already happened that gave you the reverse Tower. So it's just the energy from that is carrying through to your future. This is all I'm seeing, really. And of course, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? The feeling of betrayal doesn't just disappear. So of course I'm going to see this in your future line, my loves. Ace of Swords, this is feeling of a lack of clarity. I just feel like so many questions have come up because of this sort of Eight of Wands Tower situation. So let's see if we can find anything else out about this for you. This Ace of Swords, a Page of Pentacles. Tell me more, tell me more. 8, 9 of Cups, yeah. Tell me more about this Ace of Swords, please. Thank you. And the Emperor shows his face again. Yeah, here he comes. Here he comes, trying to get back in your good books. He's trying to offer you something. This Emperor of yours is trying to offer, he's looking to the past, which is quite unusual for an Emperor. To actually think this Emperor has been quite nostalgic. You see these children in the background. I feel like he's trying to pull you back in with nostalgia. He's trying to offer you something. It's a puny offer. It's a page, right? You deserve more. The Nine of Cups has come out. It came out reversed. So the Nine of Cups is... Do you know, the Nine of Cups is sometimes quite selfish. He's realised, he or she, it doesn't matter, but I'm going by the sex of the person on the card, that, you know, you can make him happy because your energy is positive and beautiful, and he's kind of... I feel like this is someone trying to get back in your good books by trying to give you something. But what they aren't giving you, which is what you desire, is a sense of clarity. With the Ace of Swords, it came out reversed. I don't see them in any way being able to provide you with any decent sense of clarity, which is what you desire, and why wouldn't you? You know, you've probably got all sorts of questions about this Eight of Wands incoming news, whatever it may be, but let's say it was an affair, you know, whatever it was, it's left you feeling, who is this man? And it's left you with all these questions, like, what happened, when, why? He's not answering any of them, he or she. What he's got to offer you is not enough to remedy the situation. And he's just trying to do it for his own personal sense of happiness, not really for any respect, for any sort of flow of energy between you, for any respect for what once was. Sorry to be negative, it's what I'm seeing. Anyway, you probably already know this. And I think this is your reaction to it, Gemini. You're just like, what? You've withdrawn, you know, there's the emotional investment from you is no longer there, as you'd expect. You're sort of, I see you being quite sort of apathetic towards what they're saying, which is totally understandable. And yes, of course there's sadness tied up to this with the Five of Cups. Of course there is. But I see you knowing your own self-worth here, so that's positive. God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Gemini. Any more on this Four of Cups, please? Any more on this Four of Cups for Gemini? Any more on this Four of Cups? Tell me more about this Four of Cups for Gemini. Yes! Boom. I'm sorry. You've got this, Gemini. You have fucking got this. What was I asking earlier? How does Gemini get that Queen of Wands energy upright? What am I seeing in your future? I don't make this bullshit up. If I was making this bullshit up, it would have been a lot more pleasant up until this point, wouldn't it? But look at this. What came out with it? Ah, a Nine of Wands as well. Well, if anyone can overcome the Nine of Wands, it's so funny. It's mirroring what's up here. I mean, look how she looks. This Nine of Wands is. Look at her. Look at her in this Nine of Wands. She can cope with anything. She can overcome the odds. She can do anything. And it's connected to this Four of Cups response. Knowing your own value. When you're presented with this bullshit, tiny, puny, pathetic offer from this Emperor who's done you wrong, who thinks he can drive a fucking chariot, but you can drive it better anyway. When you're presented with this from him, you're like... And that's what puts you back in your Queen of Wands upright energy. You can get anything done in this energy. You can manifest anything in this energy. You can make shit happen in this energy. I'm so, so, so happy to see that for you, especially after what we were talking about earlier, trying to turn that energy up the correct way up. And, you know, everything I said there stands, and everything, yes, just... Okay, I always clarify in threes, so I'm going to get one more. Tell me more about this Four of Cups, please. Oh, I'm getting two more, apparently. A Five of Swords and a Seven of Pentacles, taking us right back to the start. Seven of Pentacles in reversed. It's a recognition of the stagnation of this relationship, a recognition that the growth stopped and that it's out of your control. And the other person who needs to be present and involved for the growth to happen, you're just like this to them. And so you fucking should be, because that's putting you in an upright Queen of Wands, and you're fucking awesome, Gemini. And I'm so glad the reading ended on that note for you. Yes, it took us 50 odd minutes to get there, but so be it. That's the way it happens. I really hope you stuck around with it this long. I'm so happy to see that for you, because I said with this Nine of Wands, you are on the cusp. You are on the cusp of overcoming these battles, and the proof of it's there. The proof of it is right fucking there. You just, from this to this, right underneath one another, it's just perfect. And also, like, we opened with a upright, a sort of hope that things can grow, and now a recognition that no, things aren't growing, and a sort of acceptance of that, actually. But there is growth in these cards, isn't there? That growth, that creativity, that abundance, you can see it in these cards. So, like, you can grow your own shit, you can grow your own Ten of Pentacles. And also, the Queen of Wands is just totally my you got this card. I love to say that when I say the Queen of Wands upright, and you got this, you do got this. All right, I'm going to leave it there for you. I hope it made sense. I hope you felt heard in the world. I hope it's given you, that confidence in yourself for the future, that you can make the changes you need to make, and that you've had your own intuition prompted about what those thoughts need to be. Let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give the video a thumbs up if you haven't already, and all that nonsense. It helps the algorithms, helps the channel grow, helps the readings get out in front of the right people. And yeah, I will see you for one of these lengthy readings in about 2 weeks, and in between I'll probably see you for a little 5-minute reading, a 5-minute all signs reading. All right, my loves, I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.